And that truly only leaves one question for you guys. How fast is the GT350, really? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day and being safe out there. If you're stopping in for the first time, I am Corey, and this is Driveway Demons. In today's day and age, we're spoiled with high horsepower, high-performing vehicles at a relatively low cost compared to what we ever thought possible only a mere 10 or 15 years ago. In fact, today people are so spoiled by these vehicles, they go out and they add even more power to them. I'm guilty as charged as well. And myself, of course, buying a 797 horsepower red-eye and then going out and making over 1,000 horsepower with E85 and a smaller pulley. It seems like we're never satisfied anymore. Well, today I want to talk about that and show you guys exactly why we're spoiled and how fast cars today truly are. And I figured I might as well start with the Shelby GT350 because a lot of people don't understand why I went from the Hellcat red-eye to the Shelby GT350. So let's go ahead and take a look and dive right in. How fast is the Shelby GT350? Really. In today's automotive market, we are not only spoiled with horsepower and torque, but also handling, tech, and add-on packages. There is so much going on with today's vehicles, spoiling us with everything that the vehicles of 15, 10, or even 5 years ago look obsolete. So today, let's sit back and take a look at one specific aspect here: horsepower, torque, 0 to 60 and quarter-mile times. Downright performance. And in today's episode of How Fast Is It Really?, we're looking at the Shelby GT350. I have a lot of subscribers over the past couple of weeks that have asked me, why would you give up a 1,000 horsepower Hellcat red-eye for a 526 horsepower GT350? Now, there's many people today that may feel that the GT350 is underwhelming, underpowered, or even just downright slow. And that's just a mere side effect of being spoiled with 700 and 800 horsepower cars. You could really blame Dodge for that. And now that the GT500 has come back in 2020, it's sort of to blame too. But really, you blame Dodge with all the high horsepower cars. But let's take a dive in and see how well the GT350 stacks up against the previous Mustangs of the last 15 years and find out how fast is it really? We're going to skip completely past the 5.0 Fox bodies and the New Edge Mustangs and even the Terminator Cobra of 2003 and 2004, which put out a mere 390 horsepower with a supercharger. Think about that. You got a blower on top of a 4.6 and it made 390 horsepower. Again, it was somewhat underrated. It was probably more like 440 or 450. However, it's still almost 100 horsepower shy of the GT350. The GT350 is really a marvel on its own as it produces over 101 horsepower per liter. That's pretty crazy considering it's a 5.2 naturally aspirated high-revving V8. It really is a thrilling and remarkable engine designed by Ford. But let's go ahead and dive in to the first returning GT500 in 2007. It produced 500 horsepower, 480 pound-feet of torque, and weighed 3,920 pounds. It sprinted 0 to 60, 4.7 seconds, and blasted to the quarter mile in 12.9 at 113 miles per hour. And even myself at the time, I had a 2007 GT, and I thought it was pretty quick, but it was nowhere near 12.9. I was lucky to break 13.6 or 13.7 in that car. So everybody really wanted the 2007 GT500. Now fast forward to 2010, and the GT500 got a much needed facelift and new interior, as well as some extra added horsepower that was much needed. The 2010 GT500 produced 540 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque, and it weighed 3,920 pounds, the same as the previous GT500. However, the 0 to 60 sprint saved a tenth of a second, now at 4.6 seconds, and blasting through the quarter mile at 12.7 seconds at 115 miles an hour, which is 2 miles an hour faster and 2/10 faster than the previous GT500. And it looked a lot better. It was very stylish and aggressive, but it wasn't the best handling car around. They felt kind of heavy, and they leaned quite a bit in the turns. Moving along to the 2011 GT500, pretty much the same exterior and interior. Moving along to the 2011 GT500, not much really changed, except losing 100 pounds and gaining 10 more horsepower. And one other improvement was the available peak torque was available 200 RPM earlier, which helped get the GT500 down from a 4.6 second 0 to 60 to 4.1. That's right, 0 to 60 in just 4.1 seconds on the 2011 GT500. It also makes short work of the quarter mile in just 12.4 seconds at 116 miles an hour, so much quicker than the 2007 and slightly quicker than the 2010. Now let's fast forward to the 2013 GT500, which is also the same for 2014. The 2013 GT500 sees a significant increase in horsepower and torque, all due to the fact that they increased the boost, but not only that, it's a much larger engine, a 5.8 liter versus the previous GT500s running 5.4. The 2013 and 14 GT500 has 662 horsepower and 631 pound-feet of torque and weighs 3,850 pounds. That's 30 pounds heavier than the 2011, but it's also 70 pounds lighter than the 2007, 8, and 9, as well as 2010 GT500. The 2013 and 14 GT500 sprints the 0 to 60 in only 3.5 seconds and really destroys the quarter mile at 11.7 at 125 miles per hour. Back in 2013 and 14, that was very impressive. Everybody was talking about the GT500. Then, the Hellcat came out. You had the Challenger that was now running the quarter mile in 11.1 seconds, and then a four-door sedan that was doing it in 11.2. And suddenly, the GT500 didn't seem so desirable anymore when you had two heavy muscle cars, one of which was a sedan, both weighing over 500 pounds more, were over half a second faster. Now, that's not to say that the GT500 wasn't a great car. It just shows how fast technology and engineering truly moves forward, and the horsepower and the torque numbers just keep going up and the quarter mile times keep going down. Now that brings us to the current generation Shelby GT350. How fast is it really? Well, let's take a look. It produces 526 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque, and weighs 3,760 pounds. The R trim weighs 3,662 pounds. The GT350 in 2019 and up, thanks to its upgraded suspension and tires, can sprint 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, and the quarter mile time comes quickly at 12.3 seconds at 118 miles per hour. Keep in mind, because of how light the GT350 is, it's only 7.14 pounds per every horsepower, and it's producing over 101 horsepower per liter. That is just astonishing. We can look back at all the previous GT500s and how they got faster over the years, and we can even sit here and say, yes, the 2013 and 14 GT500 is faster than the GT350, but by how much? Only about a half a second and 7 miles per hour. And that's a 5.8 liter with a supercharger, and the GT350 is naturally aspirated 5.2 liters. So it's really crazy to think about how fast the GT350 truly is. Now, I can tell you guys, without a shadow of a doubt, the GT350 would destroy all of these previous GT500s on a road course. That's what makes the GT350 so special. It comes with a manual transmission, it outhandles all of the previous GT500s, and not only that, it's faster than 3 out of 4 of them. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a can of worms. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to compare a stock GT500 to a modified GT350. And the reason I'm doing this is because I really want to show you guys how astonishing this engine truly is, considering it's a 5.2 liter that's naturally aspirated, and yet it can yield the same results as a 5.8 liter with a massive supercharger. So let's go ahead and take a look at just 2 things that you could do to your GT350 that'll put it neck and neck with a 2013 and 14 GT500. So all you truly need for your GT350 is a JLT cold air intake and a Palm Beach Dyno 93 octane tune. That will give you a 0 to 60 time in approximately 3.9 seconds, and that'll get you to the quarter mile in 11.8 at 121 miles per hour. That is really fast. In fact, it's only 3 or 4 miles per hour behind the GT500 and only a 1/10 of a second slower. And that's not all. There's one more thing that you can do very easily to get more horsepower and torque out of the GT350, and that is E85. Throw some E85 in the tank and get a flex fuel tune from Palm Beach Dyno, and you're going to get your GT350 to run 0 to 60 in approximately 3.7 seconds, and you're going to blast through that quarter mile in 11.5 drive at 125 miles per hour. There's already been several people that have done this. That means the GT350 is 0.2 of a quarter mile faster with the same trap speed as the 2013 and 14 GT500. That is how good the GT350 truly is. And I know we're comparing modded to stock, but we're talking all motor versus supercharger. It really, truly is astonishing what Ford engineering has done with the GT350. That truly only leaves one question for you guys. How fast is the GT350, really? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on the Shelby GT350 and how fast is it really. So I have lots of videos and ideas for this series in the coming weeks. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget, guys, to check out my other YouTube channels right there on the screen. I'm going to be streaming on Circle Triangle Square daily video games right there on Circle Triangle Square, and also my other vlog channel as well. Check out the merchandise below the video. It really supports the channel, especially in these times, as well as the join button for exclusive emojis, badges, emblems, and perks and exclusive access to videos. Be sure to check that out. You can join right below, as the join button and the merchandise truly support the channel in these times to keep bringing you guys all the good content. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're being safe with your families. Take care, have a great night, and I will see all of you on the next upload. Take care, guys.